Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a review slash comparison video and an update on my repair of my Neverfull GM that went to the Louis Vuitton hospital. So this is all about my Neverfull GM in the Damier bin. I've had this one since 2009, so 6 years old. So good review, I think. You know. And then the newer version, since they came out with the ones with the little things inside, and this is the MM and the monogram with the rose ballerina interior. They have the newer ones now with the different color linings, which is super fun. So I'm gonna talk about that, talk about everything to do with those that I can think of. Quickly, I'll share with you guys what I'm wearing. I've got this new necklace that I'm obsessed with. It's so unique, and it's by my friend Jen. This is an L&M new necklace. Love it. It's just so unique. You can see it. I think it's called the Industrial Lasso. Like, you can make it, like, you can adjust it to be shorter, and then you can kind of go like that. Fun. Like I threw mine on with a sweatshirt today and it looks good. You can wear it on the outside. You can kind of, it's weighty enough to where it's not going to just, like, you know how some necklaces like you have like this won't stay in place. It'll just kind of gradually suck up. Like, it's in place, like it's not moving because it has a bit of a weight to it. So you can wear it like that. It's really, really nice. And mine is in the gunmetal. I believe they come in a more, see, for me to pull it up, I have to really cinch it up, and I like that. So I like for it to show just a little when I'm wearing it under. But yeah, I'm wearing it with just a sweatshirt today. I love this sweatshirt. It is the weekend now, but it will not be the weekend when I post this. So you're gonna be like, what? This is from ILY Couture. It's just a nice little sweatshirt, and I'm wearing it with some Victoria's Secret yoga pants. Just love these. These are the ones with the pink band. Just easy, you know? Love, love, love this. I have an unhealthy addiction to gray sweatshirts, and I'm slowly realizing that I have way too many. It's just not even normal. So yes, back with another handbag video. Really excited to do these, and as always, you know, these are extra, and someone asked me the other day, you know, are you just doing 2 videos a week now? And I have been so busy. We've had construction going on at our house and all kinds of things that we've been moving around, and just a lot of stuff that's been going on, and busy. And I have had several days where I've just felt bad. Like, I was a little bit sick last week. So yeah, I just do what I can do. But as always, I've always done 2 videos a week for years. I try to stick to like a Monday, Friday, or beginning of the week, end of the week type thing. And then of course, you know, if I can, I'll add in a midweek video like on Wednesday, whether it's, you know, from my pregnancy updates a while back to a day in the life type vlog, or just a fun extra video like this. Long awaited, because I've talked about it for a long time. Okay, so first of all, we're gonna start with the Neverfull GM. So when I bought mine, I found my receipt the other day. I spent $700 and I think it was $750 on this. Now I believe this side's upward of like $1,400, I think, which kind of sucks. When they sent it away, they folded it. I hate it when they do that to these. So it was really creased though, pretty badly, and it's kind of fallen out. This one is just so soft. To me, this looks like me. This print is just my favorite. If you notice, I did get a little luggage tag months back. I ordered this in store. This is the smaller luggage tag. I just think that they're cute on these. Then you can always use them on luggage if you want, but I kind of like them on this. This bag, first I'll talk about this one. Long story short, when I got this was just my everything. That I carried it all the time. I carried it for years straight, loved it, and thought one day when I have a baby I'll use it as a diaper bag. Didn't end up doing that. I'm glad that I didn't for several reasons. I think that just other things work better, because these bags are like sort of very cavernous. The older versions like these did not come, I'll show you my bag inserts as well, did not come with the extra little pouch. So, you know, you've just got this big cavernous interior. You've got this pocket, got a little ring pocket with a ring, which I've never really clipped anything to that. But you know, it has the ring for the new little pouches. So, you know, if you could get one pre-loved or something, I've thought about doing that, but I have the one that goes with my monogram, and I thought I don't need to get matchy. If I ever was desperate and was gonna carry that, I would just use that one. It's a beautiful red interior. I've carried this for years. It's never bled on anything. I know I've heard that could be an issue. I think if you, I mean, I don't know. The inside pocket is kind of lined a little. It's like a little wax. You know, it's a little coated. So that I think would be the only thing. If you had a smaller, like the little pouch, you know, that comes with the newer ones, that might rub if you had something white. But for years, I carried my multicolor white wallet, and it never rubbed. So yeah, very big, very roomy, carries all your essentials. This is what it looks like on. Like so. You can even cinch it, and I'll show you what that looks like. And I gotta say, I won't say never, I don't know, I hate that crease. It's driving me nuts. I never really carried mine like this a lot. I think on the larger, see, mine ends up doing this. It ends up going in too much. If it stayed like that, that would be okay. And I remember for a while I would try to like train it to do that, but I'm kind of glad I didn't, because for the years that I carried it so much, I carried it like this, just open bag. I carried it to the beach. I've used it as a carry-on more times than I can even remember. I carried it to Paris with me, and I lost my luggage for like the first, I think, 2 or 3 days of the trip, so I couldn't switch into my smaller bags. So yes, I traveled with this open bag. I know a lot of people are concerned about these. It can be pickpocketed. I'll talk about that a little more with the MM, because I think that new pouch obviously solves a lot of those issues. So yeah, it's a great bag. Now, let me just go ahead and get into the reason why I sent it back to be fixed. So when I first got it, I was just in love with it. I'm not a super, I don't want to say, I think now I would be more prone to take something back and get it repaired, just from what I've gone through with this one. Like right away, I watch for items like having problems, and I'll take them back right away. And Louis Vuitton, usually if something happens within a year or something, they'll repair it if it happens to a leather part of the bag. If you have a big gouge in the canvas, they can't do anything about that. But you know, if you want anything replaced, they can always replace it for a fee if you've damaged it. But if it's something that seems a little bit wonky, like it might be a defect, then they'll usually, like, they'll assess it, their repair specialist in the store will check it out, and then they'll make the call. Within the first 6 months of owning mine, I noticed that this coated, you know, this is coated leather on the Damier Ebene. I noticed it started to kind of crack a little, and I talked about that before. I've shown that. I believe I showed that, but I wanted to get the straps repaired. And they checked it out. I even kind of wanted to get this piece replaced, and they said that would be $70 to replace this piece. So, I don't know. I mean, mine's okay. It's not cracking. It's just kind of, just looks a little rippled, but whatever. I don't mind. It's an older bag, and I love it. I just think it's worn in, and I think things honestly a lot of times get better with age, so it doesn't bother me. But I just wanted to see if they could do anything about that. When I brought it to the store, you know, I had looked it up at the time, and it was a known issue. I think like people on the purse forum were talking about it with like the first ones like this, and you know, I told my sales associate about it. She knew about it. They ended up agreeing to fix it for free. And like I said, the people at the store, they don't know me. They don't know that I do these videos. They're not like, oh, let's fix it for her for free because she does it. That's, no, totally. They don't even know. I don't tell people what I do. I don't tell people what I do or anything like that to get like any sort of special extra treatment. I usually hate when people ask me what I do because I'm like, you know, I'm just kind of not embarrassed, but you know, it's still hilarious to me that I do this anyways. That I'm like, because I'm such like a private person. So it's just funny. But anyways, they sent it away to be fixed. And that was on, I believe, around the 4th of July. It was gone until I think like August 15th. And they called me and from the Atlanta store, because it had made it back. And they said they, you know, when they got into it and they started looking at it, they couldn't take the strap off because they thought that the canvas would not catch the thread again. They said that a part of it was ripped. Okay, there's nothing ripped. There's nothing wrong with it. I even told my sales associate that when I don't know. I don't know what they were talking about, but when they got it at the factory or wherever they sent it, they did not repair it. So, whatever. I've used this bag for years. I've loved it. I'm going to continue to do the same. It's not, the strap is not going to break. It's very, the leather is very much intact. It's just the coating that's cracked. These are made to be super duper overloaded. So it's not from overloading. It's not from anything. I know I joked about that. Like, I overfilled my Neverfull. You can't overfill a Neverfull. Like, the weight limit on these is insane. I don't want to quote it, but it's like hundreds of pounds. So anyways, I just love this bag. It just feels comfortable. I'm going to continue to use it and enjoy it and love it. So yeah, that is a drawback. I feel like with the supposedly they've improved that, but I feel like with the Damier Ebene, you don't have to worry about things like the leather getting spotted in the rain. This thing has been through storms. It has been, like I said, in overhead compartments, under seats, like on the floor when it's had to be. It is just the best bag. Now, over the years, when you really use a Louis Vuitton bag, like, that's why I like to review things years later. I mean, you can review things initially, like how it's working for you, but as far as wear and tear, I just think it's kind of funny. Like, you really have to have things several years, especially for bags like this that are made to hold up. So there's nothing compromised about the bag, about the integrity of it or anything. It's perfect. But when you really, you know, they're very simple. They're very simply made. That's why these, I believe, were some of the most inexpensive ones when they first came out. And even now, for the size bag you get, it's not a bad price, although it makes me kind of like, when I think that this was $750 and now the same bag with a little pouch, I mean, it's not worth that much more, is twice the price. But you know, price increases. So my lining still looks brand new. Everything looks great. The zipper compartment works perfectly. All the hardware is still shiny and bright. And I, you know, like I said, I wasn't careful with it, but I did want to show you this. As you use canvas, because this is, like I said, very simple. It's one piece of canvas, and the lining is not another piece within it. It's bonded to it. It's the back of the canvas. You know what I mean? I don't want to say bonded to. It's one piece of canvas. So, since it's red on the back, if you really look closely, no one would ever be able to notice this, and I did not even notice this until I was under these lights and I was gonna film and I was really looking. You can see barely on the corners where they've smoothed out, and you know, you'd never see it from a distance, but there's a tiny bit of red right there where you can see on this piping where it's kind of, where they've kind of stitched it together, where that piping is kind of rubbed. And it's barely red. So yes, the lining, you know, if you really use these, it will, the bottom is not gonna wear through. I mean, you know what I mean? You'd have to really scrub it. But the bottom of mine, like I said, you know, it just looks great. I just really think that these are very hardy, well-made bags. So that is that, and beautiful, and I like how, you know, this coated leather, it doesn't oxidize. I don't mind when leather oxidizes, when it gets that darker patina. Through use and just being exposed to the outside air. I would never recommend like trying to oil it up or do anything, because that's not what's really causing it. Sure, your hand oils do cause it, but all the trim will gradually get darker, and that's not from hand oils. It's from the oxidation with the air and from being used and from being outside. So don't ruin your bags by putting things on that untreated leather. But this is coated leather, so you can't mess it up. This, I love that about this. This is just, like I said, rain proof, everything proof. The size, really great. I'll go over the bag organizers later. When I take it as a carry-on or whatever, you could literally put anything in here. I remember when I went to Paris, I sort of had that fear. I think I had of like losing luggage. You know, what would I do? And of course it happened. I have my makeup in here, and this is the toiletry pouch. I'm not sure what size it's the largest one. I've had this for probably like 3 or 4 years, and you've seen this in so many videos, I'm sure, when I do packing videos or what's in my makeup bag, which I need to do an updated one. But this, I always put my makeup in for things like this, and you can see it just fits like so easily in there. I would have my laptop in here. I had, oh my gosh, I think I had a spare pair of shoes. I had all my regular purse items, just everything in here. So you literally, like, the GM is wonderful. Like I said, if you do a diaper bag, diaper bags have to have lots of compartments. That's why I like my Prada one. It has all the compartments made into it. It's very lightweight. So you think this is lightweight, but by the time you add all the compartments to it, it kind of weighs it down. You can buy these bag organizers. This is my Samorga one, and I actually really love it for the GM. And I think, you know, if you have like a nice Louis Vuitton wallet or you have other things, my multicolor Insolite wallet that's white probably would have held up better over the years if it hadn't have been just clanging around and floating around with all the other things in this bag, because it is very cavernous, you know. You can have your little pockets, but I really like this particular one. This one's made for, and I'll link to those below. This one's made for the Neverfull, but I think there are different kinds, like ones that have slots in the middle, but I like this because you keep that sort of cavernous feel of the bag, like you can throw things in, but you can also have little pockets on the side. And this would be ideal for a diaper bag because they have like areas for a bottle, or so if you do want to go the route for a diaper bag with the Neverfull, you really need to get one of these. I wouldn't suggest just adding a bunch of heavy, and this doesn't add much weight because it's just felt. Then you have the MM. Let me take out the bag organizer in this one because I do have one in this one as well. I think for the GM Neverfull, I would definitely get the bag organizer to go with it. I think it's so helpful. Not super sold on it for the MM size, and I'll explain why. So this is the MM. I believe this one's about $100 cheaper, so there's not a huge price difference between all of them. Actually, I think this one was around like $1,200. I don't remember. So you have the little pouch that goes with it. And like I said, you know, I don't really use mine. It has this little strap that goes with it. I hate these little straps that have the little, I wish they would just do two nice, you know, straps with clasps on the ends. I just don't get that little, I hate that little cheap loop. I just hate it. I just don't like that. But beautiful. It matches the lining. This is a nice little thing, and I believe, I'm not an expert on this, but I believe the MM and the GM may have the same size of the little pouches on the inside. I believe the PM, or no, yeah, the PM, which is the tiniest one, I believe it has a smaller one. But I don't know if there's 3 sizes or 2 sizes in the MM and the MM and the, I don't know. Okay, I'm confused now. Confusing myself. Not a big deal, not a huge deal, who cares? But anyways, it's made to be clipped to this little ring. Again, it's gonna look very similar to my other one. Same little ring. You can clip that. Now, when I first, so let me show you what it looks like on. This one is very stiff because it's still new, and I have carried it a bit. Definitely nothing compared to what I've carried the other one. But you can see this one, for reference, I'm like 5'7". This one is a little smaller. To me, the GM is more comfortable because this one, I feel the base of the bag. I feel this edge, this base of the bag. The GM, of course, is just, I don't know, nothing wrong with that, but again, I have this little guy, which is cute. You can cinch the sides. I've never really carried this one like that. You know, if I would have, you can, you know, push this up and cinch it, no big deal. I wouldn't do that for this one. It's just, but like, you know, it's very new feeling, still very stiff. This one, I feel like I have to be a little more careful with it because of this vachetta leather trim. And, you know, I don't mind. I just feel like the GM one in the damier ebene, I can carry, well, it's not to do with size, it's the material. I could carry in the rain, anything. So that's something to think about. Of course, though, I really don't mind because I know that the leather is going to get dark, and I like that. I don't mind at all on these, so whatever. But again, it's just something to think about if that's going to bother you. I do feel like the damier ebene ones with that coated brown leathers, they're a little more durable. So here we have that. But then, of course, on this, you don't have to worry about that glazing cracking because the glazing is just very, like, it's almost like absorbed into the leather. It's not super thick. Some pieces are just different with the glazing, but so that's how it looks. And then of course this is the piece. Now, you know, like I mentioned when I went to Paris, people always say when you travel with these, you know, some people are just very picky about having a zip on their bag. They don't want to be pickpocketed. I don't really worry about that a lot. However, it is a concern, and I think, you know, I don't want to say that because anything can happen. But I will say, when I first got this, I thought this was the biggest waste of time. Did not care anything about it. I thought, I wish that it would just, if you didn't want it, it would make the bag cheaper. You know what I mean? But now it's like, I get it. I totally get it. Now, for day to day, I leave this in my closet. I don't carry it in here. But if you were traveling, you could put your wallet in here, you could put your passport, ticket, things that or your phone, things that you wouldn't want someone to reach in. But of course it does have this zippered pocket, so you could put your phone and some things in there. But, you know, that's just something to think about. You know, you can pull it out, you can have your, you know, essentials in there. I'm not really that type though. If I'm gonna just take my bag, I'm not gonna leave my bag in my car, because I think that's even worse. I just wouldn't leave my bag like out in the open in my car. But something to think about with these, it is worth it, I think, because that way it's like a peace of mind when you're traveling or whatever. So definitely gonna use this, and use this as well on my GM too, because I love the Damier Ebene, but I don't think I would repurchase another one just for that. So you can't purchase them separately. You would have to get them pre-owned. So if you were gonna carry this as just an everyday bag, which I think it's a great size for an everyday tote bag because it's not so huge like the GM. I don't mind that though. I think if you are 5'6" and above, or 5'5" and above, I don't know, then the GM I think is okay. It's a big bag, but it's so soft and floppy. It's not like a giant structured bag that looks like a suitcase that you're carrying. I think it works. But you know, if you're a little shorter, you're a little unsure, I think you can't go wrong with this one. I love this bag so much, and I even tried to carry it as a diaper bag with my stuff and with Olivia's. This one would definitely work as a diaper, but diaper bags are, you know, once you put everything, it's heavy, and sometimes, like I've mentioned before, what I do with my diaper bag is I pack it, I carry a separate diaper bag full of her essentials, and then, you know, I leave it in the car if we're just gonna run into the store, and I'll carry my bag with me. If we're going shopping for a long period of time, if we're going somewhere where I'm gonna have to carry her stroller, then I'll put the diaper bag in the bottom of the stroller, have all her essentials, and then still have my bag strapped to me, or have it hanging somewhere. So that's just it. If I had this as a diaper bag and my bag, it would literally be like huge. I'd be toting around this huge bag. I'm just a very prepared like diaper bag person. Once you get out and you have an emergency and you need something, you will always like overpack for things, but you can't be too prepared, I think, with a kid. So anyways, this is a little stuffed for me if you're gonna use it. If you're buying this bag to use as a handbag and a diaper bag, and that's just what you wanna do, get the GM. I think you just can't go wrong. But if you're a little shorter, you're unsure, you're not a big bag person, but you love totes, this is the size for you, the MM. So again, this is what it looks like. It doesn't look small. It looks like a big substantial bag. It doesn't look too awkwardly little, not awkwardly large. It's just a good size. This I think is gonna be perfect when we sort of get out of that diaper bag stage. I couldn't resist this because of the pink, and I had wanted an MM for a long time because I know how much I'm a Neverfull person. I just love them. So yeah, I'm a tote girl. I love totes. So I think this will be a good one because I'll still be able to carry all my essentials, but then throw some things for her. And I think it's a good mom-friendly bag. And that is that. And that's what mine looks like. So I would say there's a couple of things to consider. If you want a Neverfull type bag, like I said, people always are kind of like, you know, the traditional styles of Louis Vuitton bags that people always say when they first want to get a bag is, should I get a Speedy or a Neverfull? And it's just about top handle bags. It's about, of course, now they have the Speedy bandolier, which is wonderful, so you get kind of the best of both worlds. But there's just something about a tote, there's something about a Neverfull. This one has my heart, and I love it. I personally, if you're back and forth between the print, personally, I'm a Damier Ebene person. This, I think, is just the prettiest canvas on Neverfulls, including the MM and the PM. I think that the Damier Ebene is just the most beautiful. I honestly even like the Damier Azur, and I'm not a huge fan of that, but I think they're really pretty on Neverfulls. Really pretty. So this one I think is just the most, I'm gonna say hardy, the most, yeah, like durable, a good, like not have to worry about it bag. It's just wonderful, and I know that I'll have mine for years and years to come, and I don't worry about messing it up. I'm not hard on it, but it's just a good bag. And I think having a good tote in your collection is really worth it, and I think that Damier Ebene print is just so classic. But on the other hand, you do have to worry like about how my glazing cracked a little on the edges, or how the coating, the actual leather, it's not a big deal. It doesn't compromise the strength of the handles because the real, you know, the leather is beneath there and it's intact. But it is something to think about if you're gonna be picky about that. But I just think it's just getting better and softer with time. I'm disappointed they didn't swap them out. And that is something else. If you are the type of person that thinks, okay, years from now I'm going to change the handles, you've got to think that the handles are gonna look white or very light, and then everything else is going to be dark if you get a monogram. Like, if I were to have changed out these handles, you would have never known. You know what I mean? So I do think that Damier Ebène's good for that. But some people just really love the monogram, and you know, you like the look of that. Whatever. I don't know. I am trying. I guess because this is a new bag, I'm a little careful with it. I'm hesitant to bring it out in the rain and stuff, and I just have to think, you know, you get there with all your other bags. I need to just go there with this one and just not worry about it. So yeah, I've never ruined any of my bags or anything like that. They're very nicely made. Like I said, you know, if you're over 5'6" and you're back and forth, I would get the GM. If you're back and forth between the prints and you truly do not have a preference between the Damier Ebène and the monogram, sure, you can get fun colors on the insides of the new monogram ones, which I believe are only in the MM size. I know that this bag did not come in a GM with the pink lining, but this bag does come in a GM just with the regular, like, sort of canvasy colored lining. I think if you're back and forth, I would go with this. I just love this. Now there's also one more, which is the PM, and it is the smallest. And while it's cute and lovely, I don't know that that would be practical for me because I can't put that on my shoulder and have it look like a bag. You know what I mean? Like, it just looks like a little lunch, just looks like kind of a little tote for, I don't know. I mean, maybe if you're a lot shorter, you could pull it off, and I think that would be lovely. But it's just something to think about. So that is my review. Honestly, I think that these bags are really worth it. I think that everyone needs at least one tote in their collection. Like I said, they're so practical for traveling. That GM has been my constant travel companion. If we planned a trip tomorrow and said we're flying out in 2 days, whatever, I wouldn't even think about it. That would be the bag that I would pack. It's just that good. I just love it, and it's just so wonderful, and that print is just very chic, and I just like it. So that's my review. I'm trying to think of anything else to possibly mention. Here is the bag organizer quickly for the I'm getting MM and PM mixed for the medium, for the MM size. This is, again, the Samorga organizer. They did not have one at the time when I bought it in this exact color, so I just got this color, but I think it'll work in another bag that I have too, so I'm not worried about it. But I just feel like it makes it very boxy. Let me show you. The GM, I feel like it's just so soft, it just it doesn't, but this one, I feel like it makes it a little boxy. Not that that's a problem, but it just feels a little, you know what I mean? It makes it kind of not a huge deal, but if you're into that and you like bag organizers, this would be something to look into. Again, very good for the MM as well. So yeah, not a must, I think, for an MM, but the bag organizer, I think, is a must for the GM, and I'm not even a bag organizer type person. I just kind of recently fell in love with those. So that is it. I have a few other videos planned. I know that you guys really like my What's in My Bag that I did this past month on the my Speedy Empreinte that I'm so in love with. And that was kind of fun, you know. I've always done What's in My Bag videos over the years since I started my channel. It's so fun. But I usually really spread them out. I mean, it will be a long time in between. And I thought, how fun would it be to maybe do one every month with my most used bag? As long as it's not like the same bag as but if I use a different bag or something, I'm going to try to get better about doing those because I think those are fun. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the video again, and thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.